Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's B. Avery here for another episode of Just My Opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And you know what time it is, guys. It is time for another recap for Disney Plus, the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, my most anticipated MCU show that was announced last year or the year before that. Y'all know what I'm saying. And that is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier for episode 1. And guys, this is going to be a spoiler-filled recap. I'm going to spoil this thing up, down, left, right, in, and out as if you've already seen the episode. So if you haven't seen the episode, I strongly suggest you turn the video off now, subscribe to my channel, go get your Disney Plus subscription. If you haven't already, watch that first episode because it's great. Then come back for all of this spoilery goodness you haven't been warned. And please, feel free to spoil away in the comment section. But guys, did you like this episode? Did you like it? I did. I really, really did. I said that in my non-spoilery recap, and you can go check that out as well. There's going to be a link to that video at the end of this video. But, you know, this first episode right here, it doesn't have any special name to it, or not to my knowledge. When I'm looking at it right now, it just says episode 1.1, season 1, episode 1. And that's perfectly fine, but I'm loving everything so far. As soon as it starts off, you know, it's focusing on Sam. And I know the show is titled The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier is a cool character, but I'm just really here for Sam, for Bucky. Not say Sam, for Bucky. For Sam, for Anthony Mackie, the Falcon. I'm really here for him. And it's funny though, as soon as this episode started, we see him ironing. And the first thing I said to myself was like, wow, ironing. I think I forgot how to iron. I haven't ironed clothes in like a year or something like that. Like seriously, I've ironed clothes maybe 2 times in the past year, you know, because we've been in this pandemic. So I don't know why that was just funny to me. But I got a nice little chuckle after that, you know, but he's getting dressed and, you know, he's looking at the shield and he's just looking really, you know, like he's just unsure of himself. Like he doesn't know where to go next. You know, what is he supposed to do? Captain America is not here anymore, or at least that's to our understanding. And Captain America passed the mantle of Captain America onto him, you know, so he's like, man, am I worthy of this? You know, it doesn't really feel like it belongs to me. It belongs to somebody else. That's what he said at the end of Avengers Endgame. And then we hear that playing in his head right here. And I would be the same way. I mean, you know, Captain America, you know, Steve Rogers is an icon. You know, everybody, or a lot of people want to live up to him. And for that mantle to be passed down to me, especially as a black man, in the way that this country sees me, like the way that I relate to the flag, I would be a little skeptical too, even if it just didn't have to do with the race at all. Let's just pretend racism didn't exist. Man, that would be nice. You know, that's just a hell of a responsibility to take on. You know, and so I don't think anybody, no, some people would be like, hell yeah, I'm Captain America, you know, but a lot of people would be like, yo, whoa, I don't know how I can handle this, but you know, it is what it is. But another thing that I'm liking about this episode is that as soon as it starts off, and I said this in my non-spoiler review, is that this actually feels like an MCU movie. It does not feel like a show. It does not feel episodic, kind of like WandaVision did. And that's not a knock on WandaVision, because that was a great series. That was a great show. I really did enjoy it. But this actually feels like I'm watching an MCU movie, but instead of me watching it in the theater, I'm watching it at home. And the only thing that looks a little different, or that is different, that doesn't look different, that is different, is this is a bit shorter, you know, coming in around 40, 50 minutes. And so already this is just a great way to start the show. But another great way to start the show is just give us that action. And they gave us that action, and it was badass, of how Sam is trying to rescue or maybe kidnap some guy before they get into Tunisian airspace. And I've seen this a couple of times and I still can't put together who it is. But I'm liking everything about the action because they really stepped it up. They mentioned in this that he got some upgraded tech from Tony Stark, who is not here anymore, who's not here anymore. But when he's flying around, we see that his Red Wing device on his wing set has lasers and it has missiles and it has like a little machine Gatling gun on it. That's freaking badass, you know, as they're flying around And, you know, you got Falcon going this way and Red Wing going this way, and they're doing all this, dodging the missiles and stuff. That's pretty cool. I also like the fact that we get to see Sam with some type of grappling hook like he's Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. That was dope, how he just get over here and pulls the guy out the helicopter and leads him to fall to his death. And, you know, he's murdering people in here as well. They are bad, so I'm not tripping on that, but he's blowing up helicopters with people in there. And the plane itself, you know, they hijacked the plane. The driver of the plane, the pilot of the plane got shot up, and it was going everywhere, and everybody just jumped out the plane. So I'm hoping that plane didn't crash land on some innocent people and kill them. But you know, Sam he had to get the bad guys, and you know, and we get to see Backtrack the Leaper, who is being played by, what is his name? I think he's George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre right here. And I believe that he's like an actual real life, you know, mixed martial arts fighter or something like that. He does some type of fighting for real, you know, and he's a comic book character right here. You know, we've seen him from Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I believe that's right there. And I like this action scene in the Winter Soldier, and I liked it here. So I had no idea that he was popping up. I'm glad that he did. When I saw him, I was like, oh, okay, nice. You know, I hated when they kill villains, like in Captain America Civil War, how they killed Crossbones. I didn't like that, you know, played by Frank Grillo. So I like that he's back, and I hope that he's going to stick around. And another thing about that is that when he was fighting Captain America in the Winter Soldier, Captain America pretty much handled him. But in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, this series, you know, it was somewhat of a challenge for the Falcon, which is good because we are all like a challenge, you know, but Falcon he doesn't have any enhanced abilities or whatever. He's just a normal man that knows how to fight with a dope ass suit or a dope ass wing set. But I'm loving everything with them flying in the air with their squirrel suits, and Backtrack the Leaper, he's going inside of helicopters and coming out. I liked all that. The way they're transferring planes and all that is pretty cool. Sam is really dodging these missiles, you know, spinning around in the air, this dogfight in the air. And I liked where when he got to that narrow corridor, his wings were hitting the ridges or the sides of the mountain. I was like, oh man, I hope that his wings don't just break and he falls to his death. I know that he has a parachute from the Winter Soldier as well when Bucky kicked them off the helicarrier. And you know, that's funny too. Winter Soldier, Bucky and Sam met, and they were enemies, but now they're like buddy, you know what I'm saying? But it was a dope ass scene. I like, you know, the challenge that they gave Sam, his jetpack, and got shot in the back, and so he couldn't thrust the way he really wanted to. But when he could, he just flew through the plane, grabbed the guy, and forced Backtrack the Leaper to hop out of there, you know, for his life or whatever. So I thought that was pretty dope right there. So already the action is great. We got a nice intro scene. And the next thing that I like is how this show is really dealing with the aftermath of Infinity War and Endgame. It just wasn't an afterthought. You know, Kevin Feige said that the events of Infinity War and Endgame is really going to shape the rest of the MCU. And that is true. It wasn't just some one-off and like, oh, we're back and we saved the day. No, this blip really has some serious ripple effects across the world, across the universe, and we're still seeing how that's folding out. We saw that in WandaVision in episode 4 with Monica Rambeau in the hospital, but we're seeing that now because they're in Tunisia now, I believe, if I'm incorrect with the country or the town or the city. Please let me know. But that's like, hey, the Avenger, you know, you brought back my wife, and I can pretty much understand that. A lot of people be like, oh my gosh, it's been 5 years, but you brought back my loved one. Thank you very much. You know, but then again, you have some people that probably moved on, which I completely understand. You know, they probably got remarried or something like that. So, you know, what do you do in that situation? Do you go back to your old wife or husband or spouse, or do you stick with a new person? Kind of reminds me of the Tom Hanks movie where he was stuck on the island, Castaway. You know, I think it was Helen Hunt who was playing his wife. If I'm incorrect, let me know. But he's off, trapped on the island. She remarries. He comes back. You know, I can't expect him to be like, okay, oh, you remarried. Okay, that's his wife. You know what I'm saying? It's till death do you part. And he didn't die. And, that's just a messed up, ugly situation that nobody wants to take part of, and that's just, this is the ripple effects that people are just having to go with, They said it later on in the episode that like 5 years, if 1 year, okay, 5 years, man, that's a lot of time for closure, if any, well, I would think. And yeah, but after 5 years, man, if billions of people just pop back up on Earth, man, that's going to mess up a lot of stuff, It's going to mess up a lot of stuff, unfortunately. But when back a previous scene, when they were prepping for the action scene, whoever that was giving Sam the rundown, I don't know if he was some lieutenant or captain or general, I don't know. He was just saying, hey, these are the LFA crews, and there's some type of terrorists. And so when he was talking to his friend, looking at his mobile device, showing him what the deal was, had that LAF flag smasher red hand in this device. They were saying like, okay, they felt that the world was better when it was a blip during the 5 years. They want more of a world where they're united, but there's no division, there's no borders. There's no borders. And I can understand that some people feel that way, but other people won't. And I like the fact that Sam was like, hey, when it gets better for one group, it always gets worse for another group. So it's just like, no matter what they do, they're always going to be saving the day. And that's a blessing and a curse. I also kind of got a little laugh when he was like, yeah, a lot of people think that, this is a conspiracy here. He didn't say conspiracy here, but, that Captain America is secretly, hiding out on the moon. Is that true? Is that true? Sam's like, no, that's ridiculous. But the next scene that we get right here, they're in Washington, D.C. And Sam is giving this speech about him taking on the mantle and who has to take on the responsibility and how they're going to move forward. And Sam just doesn't want to, flip the bill. He doesn't think he can handle it. He's like, again, he's like, this shield belongs to somebody else. And he turns it in to the authorities or the U.S. government. And Rhodey is in the crowd. Rhodey, War Machine. We knew that he was going to be popping up here. I really hope that he pops up as War Machine as well. If this was, I think I may be incorrect, but I think they said he's going to pop up in at least 3 episodes, and we're going to get 6. This is 1, so he may pop up, another 2 times or something. But I really hope that at least he pops up, I don't know, in episode 5 or 6 in the War Machine suit. That would be badass. That would make a lot of sense to me. But I like the conversation that they have, and to be honest with you, this scene right here felt a little like unfinished. I don't know. It just seemed kind of void and empty to me when they were looking at all the Captain America paraphernalia in the museum and the structures and, the exhibit, whatever it's called. And it just seemed like the scene wasn't finished. We saw those same scenes in the Winter Soldier and Civil War, and it just kind of seemed more fleshed out. But I don't know, just something about this just did not seem right. But Rhodey asked him, he's like, man, why didn't you take up the mantle? What's going on? Why didn't you take up the mantle? And they just kind of explained to him, like, because Rhodey was here, he wasn't blipped. He didn't, everybody, well, yeah, he didn't get snapped away. So he was like, look, man, it was a hard 5 years. Allies are now enemies, alliances are torn apart. What the hell? And so, they have their little powwow right there. But now, guys, we also get to see the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, you know what I'm saying? Captain America's sidekick. And I love the way we're seeing him start off in therapy, and he's having these nightmares. At first when I watched it, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought they took care of this. Usually some of this stuff is predictable, like, oh, I know this is a dream sequence, but I didn't know that at all. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on, Winter Soldier? Why are you going around killing people? And I was like, maybe it's something different because you got the long hair. I did notice that, but the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, is having these nightmares, man, and that makes sense. And he's in therapy, and that makes sense that he's in therapy. I wouldn't want to see him in any other place, so I'm glad that he's in therapy. This makes sense. He's 106, 108 years old, like he said, going from fight to fight to fight for 90 years, being frozen and thawed, mind control, just killing people against his will. And mind you, this also makes me think about WandaVision more, because Wanda was taking control over people's minds, and they were still aware of what was going on. They just couldn't control it. So that makes me think, did the Winter Soldier, did he still have some type of conscience? Like, no, I don't want to kill these people, but I can't control it. I don't want to kill Tony's parents, but I can't control it. I don't want to kill Mr. Yori Nagajima's son, which we'll talk about in a second, but I can't control it. So that's very interesting to me right there. His therapist was very funny. I liked it. She just wasn't boring. She had a nice little personality, and he's kind of being a jerk, but at the same time, I'm trying to understand where he's coming from, because, we saw him at the end of Captain America Civil War. At the end of that movie, he was being frozen in Wakanda. And then the next time we see him pop up is in Black Panther at the very end in the tent. And it seems like he's good to go. And then the next time we see him pop up is in Infinity War on the battlefield. And then that's it. And then in Endgame, he pops up on the battlefield in the end because he was a blip for 5 years. And so this dude has no life at all. His mind is jacked to the utmost degree. And so I completely understand if he's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, a little loony here and there. And so I get it. But I like the thing that he is doing with his amends. We find out that there's some Senator Atwood that he helped gain power when Hydra was doing their thing. But when Hydra disbanded, this senator, this Atwood lady, kept her power. And instead of killing her, he just was like, I could kill you basically, but I'm not, because I'm not the Winter Soldier anymore. And, I turned you in, and so you're going to get arrested. I got it. He's now a professional snitch, but I could kind of understand where he's coming from. And I also like the fact that he said that the only peace of mind he got was when he was in Wakanda. But he's still dealing with these demons, man. Because at first I was like, okay, why are you hanging out with this random Asian man, at this bar? I don't really get it, but it makes sense. I like Mr. Yori Nagajima. I do. He don't be playing around with his trash at all. I like that he set Sam up on the date, and we find out that unfortunately, Mr. Yori Nakajima is distraught and sad and upset because his son was killed. He's not here anymore, but he has no idea what really happened, and he knows that there was probably some nefarious things at play, but he just can't really put his finger on it. But we find out that it's because when the soldier killed him, and he's trying to make amends. And I'm just like, damn, man, that is a lot to try to handle right there. And it's not his fault, but how do you just tell somebody that? It was really funny too at the date that he was on. He's not the best socially. Hey, how old are you? I'm 106. And she's asking like, hey, what's wrong with your hand? He's like, oh, I have bad circulation, and she kind of starts saying some triggering things to him. And that's what makes him go to Mr. Nori Nakajima. And so, it's just a really unfortunate situation with the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes. But next, right in between all of this, we have Sam. He's from New Orleans, Louisiana, and we get to see his family. And I like his family too. I like the actress that's playing his sister. I don't think I can pull it up right here, but I like her. I cannot remember where I've seen her before. But actually, is this her right here? I think this is her. Yeah, let me see if I can pronounce this. Adpero Oduye. Adpero Oduye. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that. But she was born in Brooklyn, New York. Where is she from though? Where's her family from? I'm just kind of curious because of the name. But I like her. She's cool. Hopefully we get to see her pop up. But this is where Sam, this is his family, this is his people, this is who he grew up with. She was in Geostorm. I saw that movie. I don't remember her in it though. She was in 12 Years a Slave. What a Pariah. I did not see that movie. Was she the mother in that film? Okay. Yeah, I know I've seen her before, but I did like her. So hopefully we can get her back. So shout out to this sister right here, Miss Aduye or Mrs. Aduye, I don't know. But if I butchered her name, please forgive me. But we see that she's like, look, man, I've been holding it down these 5 years, Sam. You haven't been here. You're out there saving the universe, which is important. And of course, she acknowledged that, saving the world. But she was like, and Sam earlier when he was talking to Rhodey, like, man, I had my little nephews and nieces or whatever, they were babies, but now they're little teenagers. You know what I'm saying? And so it just interesting and how things have changed so much for everybody, for every freaking body, and they're barely hanging on right now. She wants to sell the boat. He doesn't. I get both sides. Whoever that was that he was talking to, another friend, colleague, family member. Oh, you off to save the world again? When you gonna let me borrow the wings? That was funny. But they go to the bank, right? And this really did piss me off right here. They go to the bank. Dude is fanboying out on them, and they can't get a bank loan. That just bothers me for multiple reasons. One, I don't care who it is, whether you're red, yellow, white, black, or brown. If you save the world, if you save the universe, you don't need to be paying taxes ever again in life, and you need to be getting some free mortgage, at least some free housing. I'm not saying give them $10 million or $10 billion, but I think, give them the Armageddon package. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that movie, Michael Bay, 1998, I believe. They was like, yeah, we don't want to pay taxes again. Okay, that's fine. And can they just get some housing and some basic health care? The little 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom or something like that. Don't got to be big, but can we just get some housing and some health care and no taxes? But if you save the world, the universe, I think you should at least get a loan approval. In talking about, well, you haven't had any finances in the past 5 years. Hell yeah, the sister, what's her name again? What is she playing? What's her name? Sarah? I think that's her name, Sarah. Sarah Wilson. Yeah, Sarah Wilson, the Sam's sister. She's like, how can you have income if you don't exist? That's perfectly logical. Come on now. And the dude won't budge, and I was really pissed off about that. The other part that pissed me off, it just made me think about a black man and me as a black man, because she said stuff like, oh, things never work out or something like that when it comes to us. I was just thinking, I was like, okay, yeah, black people, we built the country. We built the richest country in the world. Everybody can come over here and eat off the work we got, that we did, but we don't get recognized for it. We've never been compensated for it. We still gonna get bank loans today in 2021, and even if we do, the interest rate is 10 times higher than it is with everybody else when we have all the same the criteria that they do, and so that made me think of that too, and so it just really frustrated me. And the dude was talking about, can I get a selfie with your arms hanging out? And Sam would look like he about to punch him in the face. I hope that when the next time the world is getting invaded, that bank is attacked and Sam just flies by like, F y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't want to give me no loan, then, whatever. I also like a line right before this. They're putting place together and they have to go. And Sarah was like, hey, the appointment is not for an hour. Sam was like, look, you're either early or you're late. Pick one. There's no such thing as on time. And so I like that right there. But next we kind of get an idea of where these villains are going to be coming from, called the Flag Smashers. And apparently they like a world to where everybody is united, but there are no borders, like I was saying earlier. And Sam's friend is following. He's doing his reconnaissance and all that, his research, going on his little adventure. And they get all the masks and, they create chaos to get out of there with money. So I'm just assuming that these Flag Smashers, they need money, of course, to do their underground illegal operation. And when he was looking at his phone, I don't know what part of the world he was in, but it went off. It said Ren, R-E-E-N. Or R-E-N-N, and I don't know what it means. And I just Googled it too. And the only thing that's popping up is some stuff about stocks and stuff. And so I don't know what that means. Maybe it meant attack. Maybe it means revolt. I'm not sure, but Google is not helping me out right now. But these individuals are clearly enhanced. They have some variation of the super soldier serum. And it was a nice little organized, but at the same time unorganized thing, that they did to where they created chaos and they was able to get out of there with all of with all the chaos, with the money and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool right there. And the part that I missed out is back at the bank. The guy asked if there's some type of like Avengers fund, and he asked about Stark. And even though he said my condolences, I just thought that was extremely rude, and it really did frustrate me. But people are like that. People are assholes. They really don't think about anything, and it just really sucks. But they're talking about goodwill, and Sarah's upset, talking about the dude was like, yeah, your family's been with us for generations, but we can't approve this. It sucks. And Sam and them, they have like a little fight. But I like that, they're brother and sister. So it's just like a little squabble. But right after that, guys, Sam is talking to his friend about getting his ass kicked, and they're going to be doing more research and just trying to figure out what was going on. And right as he gets off the phone, that's when Sarah comes in and I was like, hey, you have to look at this. And they found out that, it's on the news. It's being covered somewhere, some type of press conference that, some guy, I don't know who he is. He was in Washington earlier, just like, we have the Avengers to save the world, but we need somebody to save the country, save America. We need somebody to influence us to look up to. And they assign a new Captain America. And this dude looks so freaking frail and just like a fraud, just weak, just ridiculous. I mean, he doesn't look good in that suit at all. And Sam is very remorseful. He's like, damn it, I should have took up the role. Crap, what the hell was I thinking? And I understand. And that kind of just left you on a cliffhanger right there. And that's pretty much it, guys. There's no end credit scenes. I didn't see any. But it's a great episode, and I can't wait for episode 2. And so, guys, also, if you would like to see me talk to Anthony Mackie himself and the writer-producer Malcolm Spellman, you can also click right here. I have a video for that, and also my last reaction video for the trailer. But, guys, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.